Now, for more on the upheaval at the oil giant, we're joined by Neal Dingmann, Senior Vice President for Equity Research at Wunderlich Securities. Neal, welcome to Bloomberg, and tell me about Tony Hayward. What's your perception of Tony Hayward's performance at the helm of BP? How did he do?
You know, I think from a perception standpoint, Pimm, there's definitely was clearly lax. There was obviously a statement caught on camera that didn't go so well. I think that perception when he took a quick vacation, obviously as this was going on right in the dead heat, just certain things like that. Clearly, I think an intelligent individual, but I think there was some cases like that now perception has gone the wrong way, and it's time to do some damage control.
Neal Dingmann, is this good for BP? The shares were up. Does this really change investor perception about the company?
I think it starts to, Pimm. I think this, as well as the top kill that Lizzie was talking about, you've got now a U.S. person coming in who has experience also in Russia. So really those two areas, you've got Russia, you've got their U.S. assets. The two together are over half this company's assets. And this is an individual with experience in both areas.
So you're talking about Bob Dudley. Is that going to change the way BP is thought of in the oil investing community? I mean, now that BP is really selling assets.
You know, I think they've got a few things. Once we see what they're going to get rid of, I think they've probably got rid of most of the assets. Now to go forward, they have to, number one, clean up that safety record. I mean, as far as the majors go, a lot of the experts that I still talk to in Houston and other places, just the perception is that BP's a little bit looser than some of the, the Exxons and the Chevrons of the world. So I think first things first, Dudley's got to step in and really start to correct some of those issues.
What about the earnings report from BP? What can we expect to learn in relationship to this spill in the Gulf of Mexico? Are they going to share some of the costs with their drilling partners?
You know, I think right now, obviously, they're trying to reflect some of that off. But, in regards to even the number they're expecting tomorrow is still a huge number versus what the oil spill has been so far. So, you may even have the perception, the maybe more outcry once people see how much they're earning in addition to what this spill. Maybe there's going to be even more pressure put on them once people see how much they earn tomorrow.
And Neal, the stock was up nearly 5% today. What are you looking for in terms of a number for tomorrow? $1.39 a share?
Right. I think the consensus, we don't officially follow it, but consensus out there is about $1.39. I think if they can put a number somewhere out in that number, I mean, you're talking on just a revenue number, Pimm, 20 times the size of what they've paid for the spill so far. So, to put things in perspective, yes, the spill, they spent a lot of money, but what a company this size earns per quarter in sales or earnings is just a huge number.
With the potential for Bob Dudley coming in as the chief executive for BP, what does that say about the company's future as an American drilling operator?
I think that really clearly hits the address right on the head, and that is this is the first U.S. to run BP. His experience, obviously, with his background with an MBA, he's got the engineering side, he's got the finance side. Hopefully, he can bring those things together. Hopefully, from the American perception, because he is, somewhat of a local boy with some Louisiana ties. Hopefully, that ties in, and in addition to his expertise, hopefully helps the perception out as well. I think it's a very qualified person and probably the best person they could pick at this time.
Neal Dingmann, what's the outlook for deep water drilling in the Gulf of Mexico? We note the moratorium that still exists. What's your outlook?
A lot of uncertainty still, Pimm. I mean, even on top of the moratorium, which is still going on, we don't know how long that'll go on for. In our thesis, we've got permits out there. You've got cap liabilities. Those two issues, to me, just make it much too uncertain for an investor to go out and try to find a company, especially when there's much, I think, more suitable onshore at this time. So to me, the moratorium, these permits, these drilling cap liabilities, until those things subside, I think you just got to stay out of the way.